Welcome back to K-Drama Haven, your cozy corner for all things heart-stopping and emotional. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and don't forget to share this video with everyone who lives for unforgettable K-drama moments. Today's story isn't just a headline. It's a love letter to patience, family, and the kind of romance that unfolds not in bright lights, but in quiet storms. When the stoic and fiercely private Yulong, China's most reserved yet captivating male actor, suddenly called a press conference, the world leaned in. But when he appeared not with a co-star or manager, but with young Mei Mei's entire family, the ground beneath fans everywhere began to shake. What followed? Confession. Wow. And a moment that will live forever in the hearts of millions. The mysterious invitation. At exactly 10:45 a.m., Yulong's PR team sent an unusual message to top Chinese and Korean entertainment media outlets. Press briefing. Today, 5 p.m. Location, Zhu Garden Pavilion. Personal matter. Mr. Yulong requests your respect. The industry buzzed. Yulong had never held a personal press conference. Known for his stone-cold privacy and refusal to engage in rumors, this sudden event was more than suspicious. It was seismic. By 3:30 p.m., Zhu Garden was swarming with press. Yet what struck everyone wasn't the tight security or the luxurious decor. It was the front-row seating, where young Mei Mei's parents, her younger sister, and her aunt were already seated, solemn, silent, and dressed in soft white and jade. Yulong steps into the light, holding a silk-wrapped box. As the crowd held its breath, Yulong entered, dressed in a rare light blue traditional Chongshan, not his usual dark western suit. He didn't look at the cameras. He looked only at young Mei Mei's mother. And then, before speaking, he bowed so deeply, it stunned even veteran journalists. With a low voice filled with emotion, he began. I come here today not as an actor, not as a celebrity, but as a man who loved and lost, and now returns. Not to ask, but to honor. He gently placed the silk-wrapped box on the table between him and the family. Inside, a white ribbon, a jade bracelet, and an envelope marked for Mei Mei. The backstory that was never meant to be public. Fans always believed something special existed between Yulong and young Mei Mei, the top actress known for her radiant smile, fierce independence, and deep respect for family. They co-starred in 2 historical dramas that swept awards across Asia. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable. But after filming ended, the two disappeared from each other's public lives. No interviews, no follow-ups, no sightings. What fans didn't know. They had been secretly dating for over 4 years. And they had broken up. Quietly, tearfully. Not from a lack of love, but because of something far deeper. She asked me to wait. I didn't. In front of the stunned crowd, Yulong revealed everything. 3 years ago, she told me she wasn't ready for marriage. She had her dreams, her family, her burdens. She asked me for time. No. I said I couldn't wait. He paused, his voice breaking slightly. I left, thinking I was choosing peace. But I didn't find peace. I found silence. And regret. The press held their pens still. The crowd was frozen. And then came the most stunning sentence of the evening. 2 weeks ago she called me. She said her grandmother, the woman who raised her, was fading. And her last wish was to see us together again. The private goodbye that changed everything. As he spoke, a never-before-seen photo appeared on the media screen. It showed Yulong kneeling beside young Mei Mei's grandmother, both of them holding a shared prayer candle. Mei Mei stood behind them, her eyes red but full of peace. That moment, taken just days before her grandmother passed, was the first time their love had been captured. Not by paparazzi, but by family. And then Yulong said. Her grandmother said. Mei Mei doesn't need a man who's perfect. She needs one who's patient. The letter Mei Mei never sent. Next, Yulong reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded note. He explained it was written by young Mei Mei the night they broke up, but never sent. She had given it to her aunt instead, who passed it on to Yulong after her grandmother's funeral. He read aloud. To the man who walked away. I understand why you left. But I hope one day you return. Not to start again. But to walk beside me. In the quiet I always needed. He lowered the letter and looked out at the sea of reporters. Today, I am not here to announce a wedding. I am here to return to the place I should have never left. Her family. Her silence. Her future. Then she appeared. Just as the press began to applaud his confession, someone whispered, "Turn around." All heads spun. Young Mei was standing at the entrance. Wearing a soft lavender dress, her hair gently pinned. No makeup, no entourage. She slowly walked to the front, stepped beside her mother, then, to everyone's astonishment, took Yulong's hand. She looked at the crowd. Then at her family. Then finally at him. And she said, "This time, I won't ask you to wait. I'll ask you to walk with me. Quietly. Gently. And this time without fear." The unplanned ceremony that happened that night. While the press left with tears in their eyes and headlines already forming, something no one reported took place after the crowd vanished. Inside Jew Garden, under the lantern-lit magnolia trees, a tea ceremony began. Private, unrecorded. Yulong and young Mei exchanged no vows. No rings. No photos. Only silence. And hands held across a steaming teacup. Mei's mother whispered to a close friend. "They are already married in their hearts. The rest will come, when the wind is ready." Silence after the storm. Where did they go? After the now legendary press conference at Jew Garden Pavilion, Yulong and young Mei disappeared from the public eye completely. There were no interviews. No airport sightings. No media leaks. All fans were left with was a single photo. Mei's hand on Yulong's palm, the jade bracelet glinting softly in the sunlight. The image went viral, crossing 100 million views in under 24 hours. But as days turned into weeks, questions began swirling. Had they eloped? Were they planning a wedding? Or had the emotions of that day faded into memory? Then, quietly and without any announcement, a new rumor emerged. The island with no signal. And a secret retreat. A local fisherman on Chongdao Island, a remote paradise off the coast of China, told a reporter that a tall man with a familiar voice had recently rented out an entire sea-facing bungalow. No press. No social media. No cell reception. And inside that bungalow, seen only once from a distance, was a woman dancing barefoot on the porch at sunset, while the man strummed a guitar softly from inside. They weren't actors, the fisherman swore. They were two souls learning how to live again. Fans quickly pieced it together and realized Yulong and young Mei were finally alone. The mysterious hospital visit that sparked global panic. Just as fans began settling into their dreamy theories, a shaky phone video surfaced from downtown Shanghai, capturing Yulong entering a private hospital late at night, wearing a hoodie and mask. Moments later, young Mei arrived, visibly shaken and escorted by a nurse. Panic swept the internet. Was someone sick? Was it an emergency? The hospital released no statement, but a close source revealed that it wasn't an emergency. It was a routine prenatal consultation. Prenatal. The whispers grew louder, and then a shocking confirmation came from the most unexpected person. The photo that changed everything. 3 days later, young Mei updated her social media with a single image. A photo of her hand, gently resting on Yulong's palm. On her wrist, the jade bracelet from the silk-wrapped box. Her caption. He returned. Not as the man I begged for, but as the man I waited for. And just like that, #YouMayForever and #HeReturned began trending in over 30 countries. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to K-Drama Haven, because this isn't the end. This is the real-life drama that reminds us. Sometimes love walks away. Not to disappear, but to learn how to return the right way. And when it does, it brings not just flowers but forever. Stay tuned, because this story, is far from over.